Today I'm a little pensive, kind of thinking. I happen to be looking at the some of the excerpts on Judas and the Messiah in reference to Fred Hampton. I wish that there had been a kind of narrative where we know what actually happened in the movie, but what kept coming back to me is an individual who controls the people, the puppets in the demonstration. Like, it's really not even about, believe it or not, and this is when the mind starts really going where it's supposed to be going at. um, it's not even really about Fred Hampton or the other gentleman. And the reason why I call him a gentleman is because we all have parts to play. Always got to be a bad guy and a good guy. But what I also found out is that if you step outside of the ring where individuals want you to be a participant and you running your own thing, what you begin to start finding out is that you no longer have to play somebody else's game, regarding the fact that Fred and this other individual, they were manipulated into the roles that they were in, which is based on the ego. I was talking to a real good associate of mine who was a former Panther, and she was telling me that of all the Panthers that she knew of or had direct connections to, Fred was one of the most, how can I say, egoless Panther of the Panthers in reference to what he was supposed to have done and represented. So I say that to say, just like I'm in Tucson, Arizona right now, it's really beautiful. It's sunny. I see the palm trees and whatnot, and so forth and so on. And what I'm really reminded about is until we really have our own, and it's okay because everybody has a choice and what they want to do. But see, everybody, and when I say everybody, I'm talking about black folk. Some of us, we didn't go to college. I went to college after the fact because I always knew I wanted to go, but I went through a lot just to be able to do that and the circumstances that I was dealing with. And there are people that they are comfortable. They got I was talking to a lady earlier. She was telling me about, her daughter and her husband who was in the Naval Academy, that they were, they had bought another home and they got another house next to that where it's a bed and breakfast, and it's going to be a bed and breakfast kind of place. And it's supposed to be one of their summer homes or so forth and so on, and there's water there with fish in it and so forth and so on. And I've already seen how they've already intermarried. I mean, it's cool, that's where you at, right? But in my particular situation, almost every individual, see, here's my situation. When someone that looks like me attempts to do me wrong, or they do me wrong, I know why they doing it. But I understand that now. But I can tell you, just about every European I've ever dealt with, 100% has crossed me. 100%. Now, do I really think that this is about race? That's a really tough question, but I will say this. Race plays a very huge part. It's almost like a addict that beats their issue through NA, but they still got the mannerisms, like the facial expressions, how they quote unquote break their mug. People who understand will understand what it is I'm saying, right? Because I'm not going to try to break everything down. So what I think is going to happen is I don't think that the so-called power base and people that put their people in as lobbyists or politicians are going to stand back, even if we follow all the rules to do what we got to do, but at the end result, right? This is why I feel so good, because at the end of the day, God is in charge. God knows everything. I don't care if they got the MK Ultra program, they got the Stargate program. I was just looking at something saying that the United States supposed to be at Mars since 1988, and what really happened with the spaceship shuttle when it blew up, what was really going on with that, and Dulce, New Mexico, in terms of this documentary you need to check out by this guy. I believe his name is Art Schuster. He was a CIA individual that they ended up killing. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to get too far off, because there's a lot more stuff that the people that's watching these videos, y'all get mad, like mad, right? But I already made up my mind on the disclosure tip. And see, I'm on this disclosure tip because I can think of a couple people that say he not gonna do it. He not gonna step outside of himself. He's not gonna truly recreate himself. So this what I did. It ain't so much me recreate myself. It's just me saying, God, I give myself to you, that you use me as you will, and I know it's you opposed to somebody else. So my whole thing is this: based on what I'm studying, and it's nerve wracking. I mean, the universe take time to do what it do. Just like it take time to plant a seed, and for it to break the ground and sprout. With the roots and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? And I'm like one of them kind of people. I feel like it should happen like right now. I can do it right now. I'm ready right now. You know what I'm saying? But just waiting on God and knowing that I can do this, and God does everything in his proper time, and does things perfectly. You know what I'm saying? He knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, I'm really, really, really looking for it, because, or should I say, looking for it and to it, and because of that is because there was a comment, and they say ordinary men learn by their own mistakes. Did a lot of that. And he said, wise men learn from the mistakes of others. So where I'm at right now is this here, right? Malcolm taught me that, love is cool. We understand, about God and how love go down, right? But check this out, right? We not playing. I know I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time in my life, it was almost like if I could just keep my eyes open and tell whoever had already taken my life, but I was able to keep my eyes open, I just want to say thank you. I am done with this. Like, done. Like, I ain't got nothing to prove. I ain't got to worry about no bank account. I ain't got to worry about, how fine my woman is, whether she's true to me, whether I'm cool with my children, whether my life insurance is paid up. Do I got health insurance? Did I take my right vitamin on a certain day? Did I do certain tests, once you get a certain age and so forth and so on. And another thing I'm noticing, a lot of times when I do these videos, right, and I be trying to do it on a private tip, everybody be coming out the woodwork. You know what I mean? I mean, it's all good. I mean, I'm tripping this a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? But because I want to speak on the videos, and so a person can hear my voice and see continuity. So I still want to talk a little bit more in depth about Malachi Z. York. I also want to talk about the Jonestown incident, because a lot of the people that was there was us, and what that's taught me by studying that stuff is that this is another reason why we must be directed by God, not a man, not a man. Ain't gonna be no like one leader, telling everybody, yeah, y'all, okay, when we get to the north longitude at 90 degrees, everybody got to turn right. No, it's not gonna be like that either. And it's not gonna be one of them kind of things that just when the thing get ready to kick off, it somebody done told. Not that either. Because look, let me tell you how powerful that this stuff is, especially when you start reaching to a certain level. They got this movie. I can't recall it, but I know this dude that played in it. And what they were able to do was go into people's minds mental, right? So my whole thing is, and I really don't know what level it's going to take to, but I know it's not going to be on no. It's going to be on a level that that how how do they say love confounds hate? Like hate can't understand love. Like what really is love? You know what I mean? Do love mean you a punk? Do love mean that somebody just gonna run up in your joint and you just gonna let them? And what did that signs really mean when it say when someone slap you on the right, you hand them your left? We not with that. Nope, not with that either. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing I found out too, right, is that I think this is gonna be the main thing, deep, depending on a person's spiritual level, and that is you're gonna have to choose. You're gonna have to choose. You're gonna have to choose wrong or right, and it ain't gonna be like, well, let me get back at you in 48 hours. No, none of that. Also, like let's say for example, you're not strapped, but your mind is your weapon. The person that's strapped, they the way how it's gonna come, I don't even want to tell you exactly, but it's gonna be like the people not even gonna be able to use their weapons or their guns. Because I'm gonna put it to you like this: what's about to pop off and is already popping off in a microscopic level. It's time. It's you know. I think about things like the young kid that was in the ninth grade. I tested him. He tested closer to pre-K. Who can justify that? Who would send a young man out into the world unequipped to support yourself? And see, my whole thing is this. Like somebody told me earlier, when the so-called black man was brought to these shores, even if that's true, because some of the stuff say we was already here, whatever. My point is this. We were not meant to become citizens. We were not meant to know who we are. We were not meant to know where did we come from. And we were not meant to know